I was living in Dallas, Texas. Me and this friend of mine, he had just got into motorcycling. I was going to take him to a superbike race in Road Atlanta, and we decided to do that. So we took our bikes with us and went to Road Atlanta and saw the race. And in the process, we met some of the other racers and everything. And one of the guys mentioned to me, he said, "You guys need to go up to US 129 in Tennessee and check that road out. It's just awesome, you know." So yeah, okay. The racing was over, and I told my buddy, I said, we ought to just go up there and look at that, because these guys just kept talking about it, how great a road it was. We loaded up from Atlanta, went up there, and we rode the road, I guess, the first day we got there in the afternoon. And we said, "This is awesome." We stayed at the store right there. They had a motel there then, and we rode that road, and we rode it, and we rode it, and we rode it. We stayed there a week. He wanted to make a video. I said, "Okay, we'll make a video." So he got some of his camera equipment up from Dallas. We came back about a month later, I guess. And we put cameras on a bike, and we made runs. We actually spent, I think, 2 or 3 days filming. Different cameras, different angles, all sound and everything. We were going to, because we wanted to basically tell the people back in Dallas and the other bikers that we rode with and people that we knew, wanted to show them this road, because it wasn't something you could tell people and make them understand. They had to see it. And in the meantime, that week we were up there, I got talking with Pete. He was the guy that owned the store at that time, and I said, "You're missing a bet." And got, did some handshaking and one thing and another, and I said, "I'll come up here and I'll run this thing for you." So we made a deal. I left Dallas and came up there. I just started in on it like that. The first thing I did, of course, was we got some notoriety in some of the motorcycle magazines. I did Rider Magazine and a couple of the others, wrote information to them, did some pictures, just basically got all the information out that we could to the motorcycle public. And they started coming slowly and surely, and then there was I think it was the very first Honda Hoot that they had in Knoxville. That's what really got it going. People started inquiring, and it was basically a promotion for the motel to get bikers up there. And we had a small group of people that rode on a regular basis from Knoxville, and they came up there 2 or 3 times a week, usually in the evening, and we'd sit around the fire out in the campground, and we'd talk about motorcycles and one thing and another. And one of them said, "Well, you ought to organize a club." I had a friend of mine that was up there at the time, and I said, "Okay, well, you be my vice president, I'll do it." So we just basically took a map of the area and used the actual road that comes up from the lake as a backbone, and then drew a dragon around it. And my logic was that if you give it a name, people remember it. They don't remember highway numbers or this sort of thing. And it has to have a hook. And the hook in this case was 318 curves and 11 miles. And that will get your attention. If you have never been to the road, or if you've never been to any road anywhere, and you're a motorcyclist, and somebody tells you there are 318 curves in 11 miles, you're going to come see it. It just has to be. And then we started the Riding Society in order to kind of help promote the road in different parts of the country. And also, it started out with a kind of a grassroots effort, because there was a lot of rumors going around about people doing this and doing that. And there were a lot of people that came up there, would go back to wherever they came from, and be interested in what was going on up there. So I wrote a newsletter on a regular basis, sent them out to everybody, told them what was happening. And, of course, more people came. That's really how it all started. Probably in about a year, yeah, I don't know. It wasn't done with the conscious effort of making it very commercial or anything like that. It was more of a labor of love, if you will. I'm thinking it was like about 90, if I'm not mistaken, right around 90. It might have been 91. There were a lot of local riders, and you can always tell the old-timers, because nobody who started on that road years ago and who ride that road today call it the Dragon. It's the Gap. It'll always be the Gap. And that's the short for Deals Gap, which is the break in the road at the top of the hill where it crosses the straight line, was called Deals Gap back in the wagon days when they hauled stuff over, because a guy named Deal actually controlled that road with tolls and whatnot, so it was Deals Gap. And all the local riders that were down there, and I met them, pretty much most of them being up there, called it the Gap. So they had been riding it with a lot of success and enjoying it, but kind of keeping it to themselves. And once it started getting popular, a lot of them have dropped off. And you talk to anybody who rides that from Knoxville now that has been there a long time, they will tell you that primarily they come up there in the middle of the week. They don't do it on weekends because of the crowds. But there always have been people riding motorcycles on that road ever since it's been there, I think. They rode them back there in the 30s even. Thunder Road was actually filmed on that road. I don't know if you know that or not, part of it. Thunder Road, the movie about the moonshiners. And some of that was actually filmed right there at the store at the Gap. And of course, it was a different, the store wasn't the same then. It was a different operation.